Hey guys, Michael here from michaelsherlock.com. I want to talk to you today about Adobe finally bringing Flash to the iPhone. Now before you say anything else, no, Apple has not magically started supporting Flash. I specifically mentioned Adobe doing this, and you're going to wonder, of course, how can Adobe, which is developing this software platform, get their services running on hardware which the carrier, or rather manufacturer I should say, Apple, is not allowing. Basically what they're announcing is Flash Media Server 4.5 and Flash Access 3.0. Essentially what these products do is they allow developers to essentially take care of all of the rendering and all that in the server, in the cloud, and then push that content to a myriad of devices, including iOS devices, which can't support Flash. So the title is a little bit misleading in that Flash content itself is not being loaded on your iOS products. Flash will not work and will not be supported on iOS. But what's essentially happening here is Flash services, Flash videos, even Flash games, depending on if the manufacturer supported it or not, will be able to be played and viewed on your iOS devices. Not only is this circumventing Apple's requirement, but it also is really good for consumers as well, because it won't affect battery life as much and it won't affect performance as much because that Flash content isn't being rendered locally. So, of course, a lot of people argue the merits one way or the other. Should Flash be on the iPhone, iOS, etc.? A lot of people think that it should. Now, Apple's pretty stern in that it'll never happen, so this is the next best option, and really, Adobe did a pretty good job with this because you'll still be getting good performance and good battery life on your iOS devices. Now this kind of, shows the strength of Apple. In the past we've seen them get rid of floppy disks, we've seen them implement FireWire, and those things sort of took off, those ideas. We're seeing it again with LightPeak. We're seeing it again with Apple dropping optical drives from the MacBook Air. Never had it, but the Mac Mini dropped that. Not putting Flash on their iOS devices. Basically what Apple does is they make strategic decisions, and like it or not, a lot of times they're actually spot on with how the future is going to go. FireWire never really took off as well as USB 2.0, but USB 3 is really not as technologically advanced as LightPeak is, so I definitely think that Apple, sort of knows which direction they're going in. So that's just my 2 cents on that. I think it's really cool that Adobe is finally solving this problem, so maybe finally, addicting games, all those Flash games, Flash websites, we'll finally be able to enjoy on our iOS products. Of course, a lot of things are HTML5, and if you're going to spend the money, a lot of developers will probably just start writing in HTML5 instead of porting, or instead of using these new tools to continue to develop Flash content, just to basically push it to a lot of devices that aren't actually running it natively, if that makes sense. Now, if you've made it this far, I just want to give you a little bit of housekeeping. Of course, I'm in Clemson now. This is not my home, or it's my new home, rather. And it's really an interesting experience. There's a blog post on my rapid reactions for Clemson. There's a lot of cool things here. A lot of things, or one thing that I've noticed is it's taking up a lot more time than I thought. I actually have, of course, less hours in class per week than high school, but there's just so much additional work and so much extracurricular things that I'm trying to do and get involved with. There's a lot less time for being on the computer and making videos. So I do apologize for that, but I'm not going anywhere. One thing I do recommend you check out, youtube.com/MichaelUncensored or MichaelUncensored.com. Basically, that's where I'm posting a lot of content nowadays that's not tech related, but a lot of it is school related, updates on my life, different opinions. There's going to be a September 11th tribute, if you want to say, the remembrance of the horrific events and the 10 years since. I'm on that channel on Sunday, September 11th, 2011, so I suggest you check that out. That video is very good. I spent a lot of time working on that, and I think it's just something that you should definitely check out. So go on over to michaeluncensored.com, subscribe to that YouTube channel, check it out. And I'll be still bringing you content here on youtube.com/TheRevivedOne and michaelsherlock.com. It's just not going to be as frequent because I have a lot of other things going on right now. But that's just a little housekeeping for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice day.